Live. I'm forgetting something. What am I forgetting?
Infections amid reduced testing. Explosions have been heard in central Kiev. A wave of industrial action continues in the UK, with postal workers staging their latest strike. And the Biden administration says it's glad India and China quickly disengaged after clashing at a disputed border last week. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
You're listening to
Northern Light Public Radio
on 102.7
KCHW. Tooele.
Good morning. Here we go. It's KCHW 102.7 and a Wednesday. And that means my guest today, Big Mike Bentz. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Scott, from the beautiful Northeast Washington.
All right. Lots of snow. You doing okay?
Lots of snow. Yeah. I mean, we, at least at my house, we got about 2 feet of snow from Friday evening until Sunday morning. And, I was out there shoveling it 3 times because when you get old, you don't dare not stay on top of it.
No, you got to go out every few inches, right?
Right, exactly.
Because it piles up on the shovel way too fast.
Exactly, yeah. So it's beautiful out there. I mean, if you love winter, you couldn't ask for a nicer one, but it's definitely winter. And it's not even winter yet.
Oh, I know. It started so early for you guys this year. And weather forecast not looking that good. 32 this morning. Light snow giving way to some clearing this afternoon. Chance of snow is 90%. Some clouds tonight dropping all the way down to 17. Then your forecast for Thursday, 27 and 15. Morning clouds, afternoon sun. Cloudy on Friday with just a 10% chance of snow, 25 and 19. Your cold temperatures aren't as bad as they had projected. 25% of chance of snow for Sunday, 24 and 17. And let's see, 25 and 19 with snow showers on Sunday at 40%. Looking ahead to Monday, 27 and 19 snow showers. And next week, actually in the forecast for the next 10 days, you don't want to hear this. You really don't want to hear this. Snow every day.
Really? So what?
Snow every day.
So what service do you use? Because when I looked this morning, it was only like 3 days.
I am on the Weather Channel.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Showing snow for every day. I'm sorry to report these things.
Oh, well, in the interim, what it does is it keeps all the snow kind of pristine and white and pretty, and so it'll be a perfect Christmas, right?
Yep.
And then once it warms up, it starts to get dirty, But yeah, I went downtown. I had to go to Colville yesterday, but I was downtown Tooele, and I mean, you know how they berm it up in the middle of the street?
Oh, yeah.
And they've done kudos to the city public works department. They've done a great job, frankly, in my opinion. But I'm looking at those berms on the side street and I'm thinking, I hope you don't want to get from one side to the other until you get to the intersection, because they're up maybe 3 feet, 4 feet.
Wow.
I mean, there's a lot of snow out there.
Snow finally arriving in Maine on Saturday. So all we've had this year, which is really weird because we're the same latitude, we've only had 3 inches of snow.
Really?
Especially with all the storms that have blown through the East Coast and stuff, they've missed us all. In fact, today we have a rainy snow mix with a high of 39. So, yeah.
Well, I saw something the other day that so far this winter, it's the 3rd snowiest winter on record.
Wow.
I mean, and one of them was clear back in 1905, but the last one, which I remember, was 1996. I don't know if you were here in 96 or not. But there was a pile of snow. I mean, I think at my mother-in-law's house, she had over 4 feet of snow by the time I got done.
I remember that. I was here. I was living in Loon Lake, so where it dumps extra snow.
Yeah, right. You get the lake effect.
That's right.
Did I ask you that this morning, whether you get the lake effect, coming off of the Great Lakes? I mean, you got a couple of mountain ranges between you and them, but
No,
still.
it seems to mainly blow kind of out of the I guess I'd call it southwest and come up across the state, because we kind of set at a weird angle. But like today, we've got 30-mile-an-hour winds because there's a Gulf warning on the coast, and I'm about, I don't know, 60 miles from the ocean, I suppose. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's we definitely see more ocean effect than we would a lake effect. And if you set something out that can rust, it doesn't matter if it rains or not. Just from the dew, there's so much salt in the air. You can put something outside, and within a couple weeks, it's got rust on it.
So don't you sit outside? 'Cause you'll get rust.
No, man, I'd rust really quickly. All right, kids today, breakfast, muffin, a variety of muffins, variety of cereal, fresh fruit juice, and your choice of milk. And then for lunch at our Chihuahua school districts, corn dog, baked beans, salad, fresh veggies, carrots, fresh fruit, and again, your milk choice. That's what the kids are eating. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we have a guest, Mike.
I know. I saw that.
All right.
I'm anxious.
Coming up at the Chihuahua Center for the Arts on Saturday, the 17th, She Jumps. This is presented by 49 Degrees North. It's screenings of two movies, Precious Leader Women and Stepping Out, happening at the Chihuahua Center for the Arts. It's going to be an evening of women-centered and adventure. And joining us at 8 o'clock is a representative from shejumps.org. And we'll be talking to her about what they do and how they raise up women. So...
Yeah, I'm anxious to listen to what you have to say because my daughter is pretty active in a lot of those things that are on their website, and then she's gotten her daughters engaged. And one of the things that jumped out at me was they sponsor a ski patrol day for women to get them, introduced into that.
Sure.
And my oldest granddaughter went through that a year ago at Whitefish Mountain. So I'm kind of wondering if it's the same organization. Wouldn't it be kind of that 6 degrees of separation, small world thing?
Yes. So. And just a brief look at her bio that she sent very well could be. So,
yeah.
All right.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Well, I've got some news headlines, but we can leave those because I know you always have that community update for us as we roll into the new year. Things always kind of slow down for Chihuahua events. I know we got a couple this weekend, and then it'll probably be quiet till after the first of the year.
Yeah.
And why don't you start off on my mistake from yesterday, because I was talking about one of the events for the Creative District, and then you said, no, we got it moved,
Okay.
and now due to some illnesses... it's been canceled, correct?
Right, we have. We made a decision with the Creative District on the board last night because of some illnesses throughout the board and in the community that our normal monthly, we call it the gathering or artist gathering, which we were going to do tomorrow night at the brewery. We've had to cancel it. And it was going to be a celebration of the year because the Creative District's had a very good year as far as being able to bring some things forth into the community. So we're not really going to cancel the event. We're going to move it to January. And that'll actually give us a little bit more time to make it kind of a bigger thing as far as that goes too. So if you're listening and you had a plan of going to the gathering, it's been canceled tomorrow night at the brewery. And we'll get some communication out and things like that to the members and everything else. But unfortunately, you're in a room there where, one of the board members said it's not only a fair number of people in there, but it gets loud enough you really project your voice. So we just thought it was a smart move to not get exposed to that or do some community spread type things because like in most parts of the country, the hospitals are running, I think the last I heard, at about 70% capacity. And then between a resurgence in COVID and the RSV and flu, it just made good sense to go ahead and cancel it. So, and the same thing, we looked at next month, first Thursday. We decided, like a lot of the organizations, to take the next month off effectively and work on the back side or the back office side, because we've got a lot. Just because we're not visible doesn't mean things are sitting behind the scenes. And so first Thursday for us anyway, for the Spotlight Gallery will be moved actually to January 21st. And we're going to do a gallery showing for the first time at the golf course at the Rusty Putter.
Well, how fun is that?
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. We met with the Rusty Putter last Thursday, and they're basically opening the entire facility up to us on a Saturday afternoon. And the RFPs for the artists will go out. We're really hoping we get a good turnout as far as local artists, anywhere from fine arts to ceramics to whatever, at the golf course on the 21st. And I'll have more information on that after the first of the year, but that's probably the next big event that's going on at the Creative District. As far as the Creative District, I'll just stick with them for a little bit. We had the opportunity on Monday to participate in a tri-state call between Washington, Idaho, and Nebraska. The call was involving rural creative districts, and it was designed for people who are looking at that program to get a feel of some people who have done it. So the Chewelah was showcased, and so was Port Townsend in Washington, and then a little town in Nebraska called Brownsville, and then another one in Ashland. And we've done a fair number of these because the Chewelah Creative District has really done a great job of going grassroots to being viable. And this one, Scott, when we went through the training for it last Wednesday, at that point in time, they had 167 people going to participate across 37 states.
Wow.
And yeah, so I have no idea how many were on it Monday yet because I haven't gotten the recap, but they do this interactive map. It's a map of the United States where when you sign on, you can go to a website and click, and it tells you where you're at on the map. And I can tell you it went from Maine to California and Washington to Florida. It was pretty impressive with that, but not. But I think more importantly, from Cheweloh's perspective, is people know Chewelah exists, and it's in Northwest Washington, and it's a beautiful location. So
I've got one question for you.
Sure.
As far as the creative districts in Washington,
Right.
is the state going to limit that in any way? Because it almost seems like if they let 50 towns participate in the program and become creative districts, it takes away the uniqueness of it. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, the answer is no, but it effectively will be because the funding is so limited.
Okay.
They've got 12 creative districts now, and they've got about another 6 that are going through the process. And when you go through that process, you may or may not end up finishing the process because it's pretty rigorous. And we were fortunate enough with the Chewelah Creative District that we had some really good players on the front end. I mean, we had collaborative partners with Chewelah Center for the Arts and TED and the school district and the casino and the chamber. And I mean, there were 15 collaborative partners. So we were able to put together a real robust program. And when we went through the application process, which is a multi-page document, it's probably 30, maybe 35 pages long, we were able to drop on those resources. And so we got through that relatively quick. But not all communities have that. And as you're well aware of, Chewelah is a volunteer community. Things wouldn't happen in Chewelah without the core of volunteers that are out there. And so once they grab onto something, they're fairly committed to make sure it gets done. And then the initial funding. We were fortunate enough in Chewelah that we had some people step up for the matching funds because Washington's grants are all matching fund grants so that you can get started. So I think it's a long answer to your question, but I think, yes, there is no limit, but effectively I think it'll be limited either by the process or the state funding.
Okay.
Because it's really driven by the legislature. And based on what I learned on the call on Monday, the Idaho program is just getting started, but the Nebraska program has been around about 10 years. They just haven't had creative districts, and Nebraska is extremely well funded. And in fact, the little town of Brownsville, which is 149 people, got $250,000 from the state of Nebraska to get started.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Huge.
Yeah, it's huge. And and they actually have a pretty large fund for the arts, and Washington's growing that. It wasn't. It really was kind of a sideline for the state legislature for a long time, but over the last couple of years, the state legislatures really stepped up and said, okay, this is a valid economic benefit in the state. And it is. I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's in the billions of dollars the creative industry put back into the state of Washington. And so yeah, I mean, it's a growing program. Plus, Annette Roth runs that program, and it's a staff of Annette Roth. So, she has some background help, with technology and things like that. But ultimately, she's the one and only person that's out there trying to get the creative districts up and running.
Well, it was almost surprising that it happened in today's climate with states tightening up budgets and stuff, that they would yay for them that they recognize that, hey, this is a tool that has economic benefits for the state and communities. So
right, yeah, and it's really kind of new. When I first got exposed to it in 2018. I became aware of creative districts of Colorado, and theirs is pretty robust. I think they got like 40 of them across Colorado. And so I had the opportunity to speak to one of the directors of that organization. And he warned me on the front end, it's, it'll take time, because it's a different focus for the arts. And I made the comment on the call. They asked, what are some of the challenges that you have? And I said, well, there's really two challenges, I think, in Chihuahua. One is just knowledge of what a creative is and what a creative district is, because it's so new. And then the other one is the volunteers are multifaceted. They're retired, they have professional careers, they have businesses, they have, when I ask somebody that volunteers for the Chihuahua Center for the Arts for help, then I'm effectively pulling that resource away from the Chihuahua Center of the Arts. So it works in Chihuahua well only if the volunteer corps continues to grow. So that's our challenge for next year: is how do we get more people involved? And I think we've got a pretty good shot at it because Bud Evans said last night. Right now we have 73 paying members, and I think he said somewhere between 12 and 15 what we call friends. They're associated, but they're not members of the district. And as you know, with the radio station, our goal was 100, and if you have 100 people that are members, that gives you a pretty good solid base.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think, it's, I'm maybe personally, very proud of the creative district. I made the comment last night that, Lynn Cassidy, who's one of the board members, and her and John have a small business here that are creatives. She made a comment the other day, we come a long way, and we have, from basically Diane Evans introducing it to the community to the point now where we're in a building downtown. We've got some visibility out there, and so
we're going to be trying some new things like that in 2023 too. We have we lost a couple announcers that passed away this year, Grumpy John and Jeff Newman. We'll be trying to replace them. And then one thing that nonprofits can see as they age. So we've been around over 10 years now, and those memberships. We're nowhere near 100. Big fall off after COVID. So we're going to be trying to do some membership drive ideas and things like that to build up our base, because that's half of our funding, and we need to get it back to keep the station viable and broadcasting, quite frankly.
Yeah. Well, I had attended a seminar a couple of years ago, and one of the things I still retain out of that seminar is that for a organization like the radio station or the creative district to exist, they have to have multiple funding sources, and they fundamentally are three. You've got grants, donations, and memberships. And so we took that to heart. So we have a pretty robust grant recognition program. As you know, Melissa Silvio is pretty good at looking for grants.
She is.
And so we've got her and then a variety of other people that send me leads all the time. And a lot of them don't fit, but you don't know until you look at it. I mean, so, and then, on the donation side, we're fortunate enough. There are some people here that really, really appreciate the arts in a broad universe of term. And so, that works pretty good. And memberships was just, looking at it and consistently trying to get people to join. And our membership fee is pretty reasonable, and so is the radio station, by the way. And so that helps. And kind of once you get that person, then it's easier to leverage them into the system, if that makes sense.
Sure.
And
they seem to continue to stay with you.
Right, exactly. And one of the other things we've done is we're starting to do some merchandising. And actually, our website was up and running with the store, I think, yesterday or the day before. And so, we've got these tote bags with the deer mural on them, and we have some cards of the murals. And as some of the projects become more tangible and more visible, then we're going to leverage that into a little bit of merchandising. But that's a whole different layer of volunteers,
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I can't say enough about the people in Chewelah and the surrounding area and the way they support all the volunteer organizations. But it is an aging out process, and so you've got to have new people coming in, or else it slowly dies on the vine type thing. So.
Well, let's keep moving before we've got about 17 minutes before break and our guest. So let's keep moving this morning. What else you want to hit?
Right now, I actually got the flyer yesterday. There's a Winterfest. Chewelah Winterfest is a go. It's going to be on Saturday, February 4th. There'll be more information coming on that. And it'll have kids events. It'll have a ski joring demo. And I actually am aware of that. I have a cousin that does that throughout the winter. And that's where you ski behind a horse, that type of thing. It's pretty cool. The food and vendors are being set up with live music. There'll be a rail jam sponsored by 49 Degrees North, and then a chili cook-off. And that's what it's set up at this point. So it's building itself out. So it'll be a great wintertime activity. It'll be during the day from 10 to 6. And in conjunction with that, we don't want to forget one of our favorite people, Tim Nielsen, and he has Winterfest for the Arts. And Winterfest for the Arts started 2-3 weeks ago, and it's a juried show. And so people enter in a variety of different mediums in the arts. And then there's a selection and an award ceremony and all those things that are associated with that. And I believe the ending for the jury is in February.
Okay.
And the two people that are participating are the McCunn Gallery and Trails Inn Gallery, where you'll be able to see their art. So got a couple of Winterfest activities going on. They complement each other. They don't contradict each other. And from what we can say so far, the Chewelah Downtown, I never get it right, Chewelah Downtown Festival Association, which is predominantly Michelle Williams and Justin Trim, they've taken on the task of developing events throughout the year. And I know the committee I'm on is part of that. And the goal, hopefully we'll have it identified this week, is 5 events that we can rally around. And effectively, these are designed to replace Chautauqua.
All right.
So they become centralized focused, but it's year round, a little bit more sustainable because of that, and very community driven. And one of the platform pieces of all these events is Greg McCunn, the mayor, is really adamant they have to have a kid aspect to them. So like the Winterfest for the Arts, they're going to have a whole section on kid events.
All right.
The Fall
That's
Festival,
cool.
we had a whole bunch of stuff for kids. I mean, so help pull some of the families into some of these. So as far as the creative district goes, like I say, we're going to take a well-deserved hiatus for the next 30 days. Work on some back office type things. We've got a couple of grants that we're working on that we'll finalize and see if we can get those. And life goes on. So beyond that, the chamber, First of all, I'd really, really like to thank again the people that participated in the city sidewalks, farmers market, and Chewville. By all accounts, it was a phenomenal event. And it's actually, I made a comment yesterday in the Rural Tourism Board that it's going to turn into a signature event because I know that on the Creative District side, the Rusty Putter was inside of our building, and they gave out approximately 500 cookies and mini cupcakes. So we estimate at least 500 people were inside that building throughout the day. And it was well received. Our survey of our vendors have come back very, very positive. And one of the things positive on a vendor is they actually sold things and made a little money. And several of them said it was probably the best event they've done all year.
Wow, that's a good compliment.
So that'll continue. I always want to remind people, Chamber Bucks, if you got Scott that's hard to buy for Christmas, you could always give him Chamber Bucks because he's coming back on the early part of February.
Oh, there you go.
So he could use those Chamber Bucks in Chewilla.
Should I post my address?
Exactly. Maybe they'll help offset the cost of that rental car you were talking about the other day.
There you go.
But so they could be done in any denomination. Those are actually custom made. On the spot. You can get those at the chamber office, which is open Tuesday through Friday from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. And they're good at, I think the last count was 41 or 42 businesses in the Chewilla area. So it's a great gift for that hard to buy for person. How's that sound?
There you go.
Other than that, on the chamber side, we're working on putting, the banners that are up and down 395 and up and down Main Street. Those are going to be actually what we're going to do there. We're going to send out a request for proposal for artwork for the new banners. And that'll be, I kind of kicked myself. I was hoping I'd get it done on Monday, but it'll be done by this coming Monday. And so it'll be a chance for some of the local graphic artists and to put their spin on what those banners ought to take a look like. And then of those banners, we'll collect the RFPs, and then we'll have a showing of those on February 4th in the Winterfest. The top 3 will be voted on, and then the committee will take a look at them and make sure they fit the parameters we need as far as safety and color palette and, things like that. So, okay. Let's see. Other thing on the chamber side is, along with the creative districts involved in this too, is 49 Degrees North graciously has donated 10 of their ski chairs from the old Bonanza ski lift, and so that's a project. At least the initial part of that project will be going on this winter. We have a couple of those that are in storage. The rest are under like 4.5 feet of snow right now, and but those are kind of prototypes. So we'll be working on that. So in the spring, when we can actually do something, you'll see some of those around town too. All right. And all that's involved, primarily with the chamber on that side, with the creative district support where we can make it work. Let's see.
And that's more or less a fundraiser. You're going to sell those chairlifts?
No, they're not. They've done a couple of those for fundraising, or actually one of them for sure. But these will be more for the public. For benches around town.
Oh, cool.
And so the thought is, it's no longer a thought. The mission is to get 10 of these placed at strategic places around town. And of course, the big issue is how do you get them placed where people don't take them? So, at the meeting on Friday, we talked a little bit about that. So we'll be meeting with some fabricators with the chamber and the creative district to come up with some pedestals or something where they can be bolted down.
Sure.
That type of thing.
Horrible.
Because, they would disappear. We already know that. So, let's see, on the chamber side, I think that's it. I mean, it's regrouping right now and looking at what do we do next year. I know the home show will be there. They're looking at supporting some of the public events. and really they're pretty robust anyway, but try to figure out some more ways to enhance the businesses in Chihuahua. And then, of course, they're effectively the tourism board for the city of Chihuahua, to basically build out some tourism initiatives to get people to come here. Let's see, the Chihuahua Center for the Arts, the big thing there coming up on the 18th is the caroling, public caroling. That's, I believe it's at 2:00 in the afternoon, but you can go to their website and that's there. Let's see. Oh, the Rusty Putter. We can't forget the Christmas pies.
Okay.
We've done for the last couple of years. These are homemade pies. You can email rustyputter@chihuahuagolf.com, or they'd rather have that so they have record of it, or call and leave a message at 935-6807 extension 4. And what they're offering this year is a Dutch cherry pie, Dutch apple cherry pie, candy cane pie, cheesecakes, 2 different cheesecakes, one of them cookies and creams, the other one snickerdoodle. And as I'm talking, I'm getting hungry. These will all be made, handmade, so they're not frozen. We get asked that. You just order these and drop it off the truck type thing. And no, these are all handmade, and they'll be available for pickup just prior to Christmas. And I asked Sean how the Thanksgiving one went, and he said, well, we had 56 pies picked up the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So we're pleased with it, the Rusty Putter. It's something unique there again to Chihuahua that you can order in and maybe take something off your plate if you're having some celebrations from that standpoint.
So I'm really curious how you've been able to, up at the golf course there in the Rusty Putter, how you've kept up with the snow and if the cross country and sledding is open.
Good point, actually. We've been able to stay in front of the snow. The parking lots are all plowed, and when you come in, the lower parking lot by Sand Canyon's plowed. There's another parking lot up by the cart sheds that's plowed. And then this time of the year, there's no golf carts out, so they're parking alongside the clubhouse is all plowed. It's kind of unique in the sense, since I've lived here, the berms are probably 6, maybe 7 feet tall because of the amount of snow we've had. So you kind of drive into a tunnel, that type of thing. The Rusty Putter's open Friday and Saturday from 8 in the morning until 7 in the evening, and then Sundays from 8 in the morning until 3 p.m. Breakfast is available all day on Sunday. Because we seem to get a pretty good crowd. I can tell you from personal experience that I've been there at 9 o'clock and I've been there at 10:30, and it's been pretty busy. We're fully staffed those days. The other thing we'll do is holiday parties. Don't just this time of the year. There's only because of the number of venues in Chihuahua. There's not a lot of places you can have a holiday party. And so sometimes they have to be pushed into the first part of the year. And so don't be shy about doing that. You can get a hold of the Rusty Putter and they can go ahead and give you an idea. And they customize it to what you want as far as the meal or the background or whatever from that standpoint. Let's see. Last Saturday, we did our first ever pancake breakfast with Santa and selfies with the kids. And it was extremely busy. And so last Saturday was a storm day, to say the least. So that'll continue. We're really pleased with the turnout there. We have some new people that are working on the social committee side that really bring some great ideas to the table. So keep an eye on the Rusty Putter. There's all kinds of stuff. Chili cook-offs coming, Super Bowl parties coming. Gonzaga playoff games type things. There's a fair number of things happening at the Rusty Putter. Right. And this golf course is open to cross-country skiing, sledding, and snowshoeing. There is a snowshoe club up here that people can join. You can go on Facebook, and I believe it's called the Chihuahua Snow Gliders. And so they do kind of a package things where people get together and do that. And then on Saturday, when they get done, every Saturday night, we've got our fire pit going out on the patio. So as soon as it gets dark, they fire that up, and the Rusty Putter runs some drink specials and appetizer specials. And you can come out and enjoy a bonfire on a Saturday night on the patio with the Rusty Putter.
All right. I like to remind
So,
people too that you might listen and go, well, this is the nonprofit roundup, but where you're talking about a restaurant and a golf course, and just so people know, our local golf course is, well, it's not a 501c, it is a nonprofit, and that's why we include them. And Mike's very involved there too. You've been a volunteer
right,
there
yeah, and
for
it
how many years
actually
now?
is. The what?
You've been a volunteer there for how many years now?
Oh, well, since 2014, so
all
what,
right.
8 years?
All right, you got some track record
Um,
going.
Yeah, pretty good track record going, and it is a 501c6, but so it means it's not tax deductible. But what that designation means is all the profits have to be put back into the facilities, and so it does a couple of things. One is it helps keep the pricing down, and for a golf course of this stature, the rates are very, very reasonable, and so it makes it accessible to the public. And one of the things I used to tell one of our favorite people, Dorothy Knaus, is Chewella's got a municipal golf course, but they don't have to take care of it. and that's a big thing. There's 167 acres up here, that 27-hole golf course, and a fair number of green space, or a fair amount of green space. And to give them a plug, we're adjoined to the Chewela Land Trust. It borders our northeast border, so you can come up here and there's 400 and some acres there that you can recreate in. And when you're done, you've got the Rusty Putter right there to go grab something to eat or whatever you want to do. So it's a pretty nice complex between those two particular organizations.
All right. I see Katy Scott hanging out in our green room, so we should probably get ready to head to break. Couple other things. So real quick, if you had anything else on your list, I know we have the caroling going on if you want to get in on some Christmas caroling without trudging through 4 feet of snow. This Sunday, the 18th, 2 p.m., Chewela Center for the Arts are going to be doing a Christmas carol program. And it is a free event, but they'll always accept donations. And remember to give generously. It's our Chewela Center for the Arts, and they always need help. They're just getting started. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I just noticed too, on the 15th, we have the Chewela Senior Center potluck.
Okay, good catch there.
That from 11 to 1 p.m. And so they appreciate as many people as possible. And then just maybe a quick shout out. The Chamber has some new members. One of them is called Action Coach. And you can go on the Chamber website and find out about these. Another one's Always Caring. Vista has become a member of the Chewela Chamber.
Okay.
Which is really nice. And then, of course, the Creative District renewed our membership of the Chamber, too. So
I think the radio station did, too. We all got to support each other, right?
That's right. Exactly. And to me, that's one of the things that's admirable in this community is the collaborative support that we can work with and still have our own missions.
I wonder if we've broken any records because for what is the population of Chewela in town right now? Like 2,800, something like that?
Yeah, I still say 2,600, but it's probably a little bit north of that.
So you've got a town of 2,600, and of course you got to take into account the surrounding areas. But we've got like 50 registered nonprofits in the area. So
you're right. I had to go into this Secretary of State website this last week to look up a nonprofit for a different organization I'm involved with, and there's a lot of them. That's all I can say.
There is a lot of them. Now, some of them, of course, aren't active, but there is a ton of them that are. And it just kind of, it kind of spotlights the community too, and how connected they are, and how many of them, I guess, work together always surprises me as well. Now, if you missed out on today's nonprofit roundup, and they're going, well, they're talking about all these nonprofits and the events they have going on, you can take part of that if you're part of a nonprofit. All you need to do is contact us through, one of the easiest ways is Facebook. You can always email KCHW Radio at yahoo.com. And if you go to our website at kchw.org or northernlightspublicradio.com, you can click on the Contact Us page. It takes you where you can enter your event. You can even attach a flyer to it. So that makes it a little easier for us, too. And sometimes we print those out and put them in the window. So a little extra promotion, and it gets you on the radio as well. So real easy to submit your nonprofits event, kchw.org, northernlightspublicradio.com. All right, Mike, we're going to go to break. And if you don't have anything else.
Nope, I'm pretty well caught up.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, take advantage of your nonprofits. I mean, and you can take advantage two ways. You can donate, or you can donate your time. And years ago, I was involved with a nonprofit. I remember talking to the president of the board, and he said, "Mike, we always like your money, but it's more important to us to get your time."
There you go. All right. When we come back, it's Katy Scott from shejumps.org. They are showing 2 movies on Saturday at the Chihuahua Center for the Arts, and we'll get all the details about She Jumps. They support and uplift women in sports, and we'll be talking to her, and she's local out of Spokane, so that's pretty cool, too. So they've got a local connection for that. All right, we will be right back. Thanks for tuning in. It's your morning show on KCHW 102.7 Northern Lights Public Radio. Scott and Mike, and back with Katy. Hello, Katy. I kind of heard something.
Hello, can you hear me?
There you are.
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah.
How's it going this morning?
It's going good. How are you?
Good. Excited to have you on the show today.
Happy to be here.
All right. Move some things around. All right. We got your email, so we can chat at you. You're a little tall. Can you maybe center your laptop camera a little bit, maybe? Let's see. There you go. I don't want to make you shrink, though.
My camera's like in a weird spot on my laptop. I don't
Okay.
want to get too far away because then you won't hear me. Does
Yeah.
that work?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect on my
And
side.
you can get closer, too. That's fine. I'm going to try to... Immersive... Trying to get you both at the same time.
Well, I've got both on my screen.
Yeah, I don't on my feed, so I'm trying it here. Immersive.
Yeah.
They last week I had a problem with this on a dual show. They and it's showing gallery. Maybe it's because I don't have it big enough. There we go. Anyway, Zoom made some changes and it's been wrecking havoc with me. So.
Technology.
Yeah, that's probably one of the challenges is you never know what you're going to get when you fire it up.
Yeah, and it's always a shock. It's like, oh, they changed something. Oh no.
Right.
So you're a little cutting out a little bit, Caitlin. Before we go live, will you give me a count to 10?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, we got you good.
Yeah, sounds good.
We are 2.5 minutes out.
All right.
So how long have you been involved with Sheba? She jumps.
Mike, let's
years.
save that for the radio because this
Oh.
feed is going out. Just so you know, then Caitlin in the background is that we're not going out over the radio, but when we have the stream going, there's no way to stop this chat from going out while we're on break. So Mike, I want to save that for the radio.
Okay.
Sorry.
So did you get snow in Spokane?
Oh, yeah, I think it's snowing right now.
Really?
Yeah, it was about 5 minutes ago at least.
Yeah. Well, my weather app in Scott says I have snow too, but I'm looking at fairly clear skies at the moment.
It's pretty cool. We
Not
got
making
somebody
snow.
in Chihuahua, we got somebody in Spokane, and we got me in Maine. So
Got it covered.
all right, I'm going to send the news back down the line. We're about 1 minute out. Stand by and quiet on the set.
Witnesses who have voluntarily provided information relevant to our investigation.
The committee's final report is expected before the end of the year, as Republicans are expected to dissolve the committee when they take control of the House in the next Congress. Meanwhile, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia says her recent remarks about the January 6th attack on the Capitol were sarcasm.
They say that whole thing was planned, and I'm like, are you kidding me? A bunch of conservatives, Second Amendment supporters went in the Capitol without guns, and they think that we organized that? I don't think so.
Greene told attendees of a New York Young Republicans event she and former aide to President Donald Trump, Steve Bannon, would have won, and they would have been armed. The White House condemned the remarks, calling them a slap in the face to law enforcement. Finally, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis leads former President Trump in a new USA Today Suffolk University poll. 56% of Republican and Republican-leaning voters preferred DeSantis, while only 33% would support Trump. I'm Catherine Carley for Pacifica Network and Public News Service. Find our 8 trust indicators to support transparency and accuracy at publicnewsservice.org.
Northern Lights Public Radio, KCHW 102.7. We are back for part 2, and our special guest live from Spokane, Washington. It is Caitlin Scott from SheJumps.org. Good morning, Caitlin.
Good morning.
All right. If you'd like to meet Caitlin like semi in person, you can log on this morning to Facebook or YouTube to the KCHW channels. And just as a side note there, if you miss any part of today's show, you can always go back like you can each day, Tuesday through Friday, and watch the show again. And Caitlin, you can share it with your friends.
Of course.
All right. So, Caitlin, it says on your bio, it said you're born and raised Washingtonian, and you serve as the Eastern Washington Regional Coordinator for She Jumps, and you've been doing it for 5 years. So, congrats on that. Pretty exciting.
Yeah, I've been regional coordinator the whole time. I actually started out as a brand ambassador over in Illinois and moved here during COVID, and moved into the role of the regional coordinator, and it's been an awesome time.
All right. So, give us your elevator pitch about what SheJumps.org is.
She Jumps is a national organization that works to increase the participation of women and girls outdoors, and we do that by providing a space for community and free and low-cost outdoor education. We really want to provide a space for empowerment and community and just coming together to get more women and girls involved in these outdoor activities and to really feel what it's like to be out there in nature and experience the outdoors.
All right. What do you see that are maybe some of the problems that led to this group organizing?
I think some of the big issues are just that we don't see very many women in outdoor roles. For example, ski patrols are often made up of mostly men, which is totally fine. They're totally qualified, but representation matters. And when we get out there on the mountain, it's nice to see women in those leadership roles on the mountains and really getting out there and having that community and support from a career perspective and just from a recreational perspective. So that's where it initially started, and we've grown from there to take on more than just skiing and try and incorporate more sports like mountain biking and hiking and rafting more recently, and fly fishing. So we're really just trying to provide a community, and I think that's the biggest need is a community for women to come together and feel safe and empowered while recreating outdoors.
All right.
So Katy, does it have, it's nationwide, it sounds like, and I went in and looked at the website. So is it like it has chapters? Like there's a Northeast?
We are broken down by regions. There's the Pacific Coast region. Alaska's its own little region. And then we have like the Midwest, the Rockies, the Southeast, and the East. And then within each region, we're broken down by state, and we're almost entirely volunteer run. So from regional coordinator down, it's volunteer. We have a national staff, but I think there's only like 5 full-time staff members and then a couple part-time staff members. So we're pretty much entirely volunteer run, and we host events nationwide and try to expand into new areas all the time. And new areas around the U.S. are, but yeah, we're nationwide. We're also in Canada, so I guess technically international.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So how does your group? You know, the obvious for nonprofits, grants and stuff like that. But do you guys do any kind of fundraising, memberships type of stuff like that?
Yeah. So we have a monthly donor sign up on our website, and we have a number through that. We do every year. We do some fundraising climbs where women are taken on expeditions up like Mount Baker and Mount Rainier and Glacier Peak, and I think there's one other one that was available this year, and they fundraise while doing their climb. That's a big fundraiser for us. And then our other big fundraiser is Get the Girls Out, which is an event around International Women's Day, where we bring women together to get outside to celebrate International Women's Day, and that's a big fundraiser because we usually have a raffle that goes with it, just like we're doing at our event in Chewelah, a raffle that goes with it that allows people to donate and get a prize in exchange, essentially. I mean, it's a raffle. But those are our big fundraisers. And then we also do smaller fundraising just at our events. There's always the option for individuals to donate. And then we have some sponsors from corporate levels for different events on our national level. Like last year we had Nordica sponsoring our Get the Girls Out event. I'm not sure who's going to be on it this year, but we'll see. It can come in March.
So to share, I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit. Share one of the stories of one of the events that you've attended that was maybe the most moving to you.
Most moving. Well, it actually wasn't an event I attended, and I wasn't there at all.
Okay.
How I found out about She Jumps was through my mom, who was at a Get the Girls Out event up at Schweitzer, actually in North Idaho, and she was riding the chairlift with a group of women in tutus, and well, that's kind of our thing. Tutus are kind of our thing. We love tutus. We love just getting out there with the glitter and the unicorns. Our Girafficorn is obviously our mascot. And she was like, why are you on tutus? And why are you here? And what is this? I need to know. And from there, she called me up. I was in law school, and she called me up and she's like, Katy, I just found out about this thing called She Jumps, and you need to do it. I'm like, Mom, you're skiing. Why are you talking to me right now? And she's like, no, I don't care what you're doing. Look it up. So it was actually that Saturday that I signed up to be a volunteer and joined She Jumps. And from there, it's been a whirlwind.
All right. So you are. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, okay. So do you effectively travel to the different areas then? I mean,
No.
so like.
Washington. I just started out in Illinois and moved. That was a last school. So I'm exclusively in Washington. I do travel over to the west side of the state sometimes, but we have a pretty large team on that side of the state, so I'm mostly just here in Eastern Washington now.
Well, before we talk about the event that's coming up this Saturday, tell us about other events that are in the works for our area.
Yeah, so we've got a whole lineup of skiing events coming up this winter. Right now, we're working on a junior ski patrol program, which is for girls 8 to 16 up at 49, and they'll be able to spend a day hanging out with patrollers and seeing what it's like to be a patroller at 49. We're looking at doing our Get the Girls Out event up at Mount Spokane, and that event we're hoping to also include some Nordic elements as well as an uphill travel portion to really get that backcountry element in there and really cover the full range of ability levels. And then we're working on some summer events. Hopefully we'll get some mountain biking events on the calendar this summer, coming back from COVID. We're full steam ahead with our in-person events now, which is really awesome again. So we're hoping to get some mountain biking stuff on the calendar this summer and some fly fishing. But right now we've got some junior ski patrol that we're really looking forward to this winter. That's one of our flagship Wild Skills programs, and the youth programs are always my favorite. I love watching the young girls learn and get connected with the patrollers and the mountain itself. I think they're my favorite.
So is this the first time you've done it at 49 degrees north?
Yeah, we've done it at Schweitzer in the past, but this will be the first time at 49. And then we're looking at doing it at a couple other mountains, but there's nothing solidified yet. So I don't want to put them in the
hot seat.
Okay, well, I just to kind of give you a testimonial, I guess, and I don't know if it's through Ski Jumps or not, but my granddaughters, they live Kalispell Whitefish area. Mm-hmm. And one of the highlights they had last year with my granddaughters was at the very end of the season, they did a day with the ski patrol. And it was all day, and they basically followed them throughout the day.
Yeah.
And learned those skills. So it sounds like it's very. I might even be the same program for all I know.
Yeah, we did have a program up at Whitefish last year.
Oh, okay.
So very
well, my hat's off to you.
Really
because I know that my daughter has pretty aggressively looks for events that her daughters can participate in. So it's a good program. They loved it. So.
Awesome. We love hearing that. We love the program. We've been doing it for, I think, 7 years now. I think when I was in Illinois, I didn't do junior ski patrol, so I don't know. We didn't have patrol.
Mike brought that up off mic before we started the show today and was wondering if it was the same organization. And I told him, I said, probably, because I've never heard another one doing something like that. So good job.
Right. No, it really does sound like the same thing. It probably was. Last year we were at quite a few mountains, and we're hoping to do the same this year. We'll have some over in Montana again, and then on the west side of the state there will be some. There's some set up in Oregon already. So the whole region has junior ski patrol all over. Really excited to bring it to 49 and hopefully.
So you're showing a couple movies at the Chewelah Senior Center on Saturday. Tell us a little bit. I know the doors open at 5 o'clock, but tell us a little bit about these two movies and the program that's happening Saturday evening.
Yeah, so the first movie will be Stepping Out into the Alaska Range, and it's the story of 3 women who go on their first self-guided tour throughout the Alaska Range. That one's a shorter one. It should have about a 20-minute runtime, I think. And then our second film is The Precious Leader Woman, and that's about Spencer O'Brien, who's a professional snowboarder who uses her indigenous culture to really get to the roots of her snowboarding and find herself as a snowboarder. So I'm really excited. And then we'll have a raffle with prizes from a lot of our partners like Sneva Manufacturing and 49 and Quartzite Brewing and the Spoko Fuel in Chihuahua, and there's so many. I would need a whole list too. I think we have some awesome raffle prizes lined up that we'll be doing at the end of the films. And we'll be heading over to Quartzite for a social hour for everyone to just hang out and get to know each other after watching some cool films about diversity and women in skiing and outdoors.
So will you be on stage speaking Saturday night here in Chihuahua?
I will. I'll be the MC the whole night.
Excellent.
Take me now, maybe come anyway. I'll accept the booze.
We're pretty easy going in Chihuahua. We won't boo you. All right. So how did these films come about? Is this something that your organization produced, or that people that came to you that made these films and says become part of this? How did that work?
They're from the film producers. We acquire rights to a collection of films each winter and try and host film screenings again across the nation to just share these women's film screenings. The Stepping Out, I believe, was produced by Solomon. Oh, it's Onyx Backcountry. And then Precious Leader Woman must be Solomon.
No,
they have their corporate sponsors, and we just get the rights to the movies.
Okay, I was just curious. I noticed that actually on one of my national prep sheets that I get for news and entertainment, She Jumps was listed as being released, I think, last weekend. Is that correct? But it was listed on there as a new movie to go see, and some locations. So, and it wasn't Spokane. So, is this rolled out across the country, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got different showings all across the country right now, and they'll continue into the spring.
Nice. Mike, shame on you.
I thought that was my phone. Same ringtone.
Ironically, it's my daughter calling.
How about some teases about, do you have like anything in She Jumps that you can, like a highlight of the movie that you really enjoy?
I actually have not pre-watched them yet.
Oh, so this is going to be new for you too.
Tomorrow.
All right.
I don't know yet. I'm really excited to watch them. I've heard they're really great films, and all the screenings we've done so far. We had one in Seattle in November, and it went really well, and everyone loved the film. So I'm hoping to replicate that here.
So now, is there still room for local participants in the ski program here in Chihuahua? Have you already signed up, or is this an opportunity for people to sign up too?
The registration for the ski program up at 49 will launch after this. We are in the final stages of our planning, and then the registration will go live after the resort gives me the okay to put it up.
Okay.
So we're still in the final stages of getting that registration going. You'll be able to sign up for our newsletter, which will be the first alert that goes through there. First time that gets posted is in our newsletter. And then I'll also have a sign-up sheet for a regional newsletter that'll be more specific to our area, where people can get updates when that goes live.
All right. So if somebody can't attend the event on Saturday with the holidays so close or something like that, what is a good way that they could find out, I guess, number one, how to participate locally, and number two, how to volunteer locally and help you out?
Well, we have various volunteer roles. We have event coordinators and brand ambassadors who come on through our annual recruitment, which is actually going to be coming up here in February or March. And we will be recruiting for event coordinators and brand ambassadors in Eastern Washington. So anybody that's interested in that can go to our website, and at shejumps.org/volunteer, there's a form that you can fill out that will guide you in telling us what you're interested in volunteering to do and how you want to volunteer. We also have an on-call volunteer role that is open for signups all the time, and we're always looking for on-call volunteers. And on-call volunteers are the people that we contact to help us host our events. They're the event volunteers. They don't have to plan or coordinate anything. They just show up to the event and help us make the events be awesome. We're always looking for those. And then we'll have our formal recruitment from that same list. So if you sign up to be an on-call volunteer, you'll get the formal recruitment application when it comes out in the spring. I guess it's during February, isn't it?
So now you are an attorney, correct?
I am, yeah.
All right. Can you tell us what kind of law you practice?
I practice personal injury law. I do plaintiff's work, mostly car accidents and work.
Well, this is excellent because Mike ran into me last week.
Great, let's get him.
Yeah, I ran into him from Washington, so it was a virtual accident.
Yes. All right.
That takes some real talent.
So where I'm going with that line of questioning is so that's not an easy career field to choose. A lot of schooling behind it and stuff. There must have been someone in your life that made you feel exceptional, that you could meet challenges, and that inspired you to reach out and uplift other women. So who was that gave you that inspiration?
I think there's actually a couple of them. And most of them are my teachers from out in Welpnet, and my mom. My mom, first and foremost, she's inspired me to do so much with my life, with myself, and she pushes me every day to continue to challenge myself. But then growing up, I had some amazing role models in my teachers, and around me. Oh, my Aunt Jan too. She always encouraged us to get out. But my teachers, Miss Switek, Miss Flat, for sure, always were pushing and challenging me and encouraging me to get out and get out of my own bubble and really excel in life.
All right, here's a round of applause for your mom. And I love that because I feel this, obviously your parents have a huge effect on you and stuff, but I think a lot of teachers get missed for being unsung heroes. I had one in Chihuahua. She has passed away. A lot of people remember her, Sherry Frizzell. She was one of the people that was probably the most inspiring in my life that really had a huge role in shaping who I am today, and hopefully it's good. but she definitely inspired me. So, all right, what have we missed? Anything that you wanted to get out in today's interview, Katy?
I don't think so. I just want to let everyone know that it's always a great day to be outside, and I think that we should all spend some time outside every day. Yeah, I know we are getting into these cold weather temperatures, but some people say that's better for you. I will take my 2 minutes and go back inside.
Okay.
But I think we should all spend a couple minutes outside. And I encourage everybody to get out there and come spend some time with us this weekend on Saturday.
So the doors open at 5:00, and it's at the Chihuahua Performing and Cultural Arts Center. If you're catching this and you want to be there and you're not familiar, it's 405 North 3rd Street here in Chihuahua. And it's sponsored by Quartzsite and 49 Degrees North, so we appreciate them helping you with that. Is this a free event for entry?
It is, yep.
Okay.
It's free entry. You can pre-register if you want to save some time at the door, or you can just come and we'll sign you in at the door.
All right.
So do they pre-register on the Chihuahua Center for the Arts website?
I think so.
Okay. I know it's there. I just don't remember.
Yeah, and I think he put it there.
Okay.
It's supposed to be there.
All right. Do you have a rundown of the events, the way it'll unfold? I know doors open at 5. I believe it starts at 5:30, correct?
Yeah, so we'll have some raffle tickets for sale there at the beginning. We have a couple of our sponsors will be there to share some of their things with you. 49 will have some of their program stuff set up that they'll be talking about beforehand, just sharing socially. And then the Art Center is going to be selling snacks and beverages. And then we'll get the movies going. There'll be a brief intermission between the two, and then the raffle will be at the end, so that everyone gets a chance to buy any of the tickets they want throughout the whole
All right, and I'm going to throw out a round of applause for to Joel Wazinski, because Joe loves hearing his name on the radio, and he put us together with Katy. Thank you, Joe. He'll appreciate that. He was all bummed out because he said he had PT or something today, so he couldn't he couldn't catch it live. Let's see what else. A big thank you to Joe. Big thank you to Katy Scott from shejumps.org. If you'd like to volunteer and get more information, you can always catch her through there. The best deal, though, is catching her Saturday night live at the Chewewa Performing Culture Arts Center. Any closing words, Katy?
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here today, and I really appreciate you having me. And thanks to Steve for making this happen.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, Katy Scott. Thank you, Katy. All right. All right, me and Mike will continue this morning. We've got a few things to do, and maybe more on the goofy side. So Mike, if you were following along this morning with Interprep, you can go ahead and hit the bits and breaks today. We got a couple good ones. My first one I have, and I think you might appreciate this a little bit too. We've made jokes about it before. It's rejected slogans for fruitcake. If you have one of your own, a good idea of something to do with fruitcake, please feel free to post it on our Facebook page while we're doing the broadcast, and we'll share that with others as well. Our first one, rejected slogan for fruitcake: edible doorstop. I don't know about edible. A chance to practice the Heimlich maneuver. Because somebody's going to choke on one of those. All right.
Right.
Have you ever given the Heimlich maneuver to somebody?
I have not.
Right.
I've seen it given.
I've done it, which was really surprising with my little dinosaur arms. Yeah, but I actually did that, and I use that on my dating apps. I put on there that they're going to be safe on a date with me because I once saved somebody on a date with the Heimlich maneuver.
Did you also put on there, I know CPR?
No.
Oh,
I figure that probably kind of goes with it, but
okay.
Don't get scared if I sneak up behind you. I'm just keeping you safe, right?
Exactly.
All right.
I'll wait till you turn blue, and then I'll force you to turn red.
Yeah. Let's see. Rejected slogans for fruitcake: melts in your mouth, lays like a ball of lead in your stomach. It's true. Fruitcake, still better than lima beans. Yay. And fruitcake, the other building material.
So I have a vision of somebody building a house out of blocks of fruitcake.
Yeah, that's what like an igloo without a door.
When's the last time you got a fruitcake?
Oh, I bet you it's been 5 years, 6 years since I've seen a fruitcake, which is
I
that's a
haven't
good
seen
thing.
one in a long time.
All right, moving on. What little things make you mad, Mike Bentz? And you can list more than on the list, okay?
Oh, so we're still in bits and breaks?
Yes. I
You're
just
really ahead of me.
I just didn't want to talk about the one that said single and alone at the holidays because it might depress me.
Okay. So you want me to do that one?
No, I want you to do what little
burden
things
off
make you mad. I'm not even going to talk about being single and alone at the holidays.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, the first thing is mosquitoes.
Oh, they're horrible.
They're everywhere.
That's right.
They're an invasive species.
And now they carry diseases and stuff too, right? So you got to take that into account.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, this one is really a pet peeve of mine, actually. Having to wait for someone after the agreed upon time.
Oh, I bet you, as like a financial guy, I bet you that literally drives you nuts.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then my, I believe if you're not early, you're late.
I've heard you say that before.
And I still have this habit. My watch is set 10 minutes fast.
Because you're always going to be there early, right?
I'm always going to be there earlier. And I used to have this argument with my kids, and I said, the only watch that counts is mine.
I set them 10 minutes ahead too, my clocks, but it's just so I can arrive on time, not so I get there
On time,
early.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay, this one is really a pet peeve of mine because just the other day I hit my head on one. Leaving the kitchen cabinets open.
Oh, I got a bad habit with one, and it swings out so far that when you grab the freezer door, it catches on that cabinet. And now I put a dent in the fridge.
You're not supposed to open them that on.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Well, what about those people that don't use turn signals?
Which is everyone in the state of Maine.
Maybe that's the motto. Don't use your turn signal.
Nobody does here. And they're really big on doing like illegal turns and stuff like that. I've been really surprised by traffic on the East Coast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched a guy the other night head into like the oncoming traffic lane for maybe 100 feet to make a left-hand turn. Alrighty then. Okay.
What about those people who have a whole conversation on speakerphone in public?
They're the best.
Yeah, they're the best.
Yeah,
you ever
they're the best.
Been in a room and somebody puts their phone on speakerphone?
Yeah, it's not a good idea. That's when you should start yelling things that are maybe possibly inappropriate.
That's true. All right. How about listening to someone chew their food so loudly that even people a table away could hear?
Oh, man. Grandma.
Yeah, take your teeth out. Won't be as noisy. Oh, and people who enter the elevator before you can get out.
Oh, you don't see that one very often, though.
Well, in Chihuahua, we don't have a whole lot of elevators.
Not a lot of choices. You go.
Yeah, I think we have one.
All right, worst holiday gift. Apparently, the candle. The candle is the worst holiday gift. Writer for the LA Times says he's no longer anti-candle, though. He writes that a gift exchange during an office party changed his mind after co-workers went gaga over a couple of candles that were being passed around. Turns out not everyone thinks candles are a good gift. Women's Health magazine has a list of 13 gifts that are better than a candle. Just Google it. On the website of home improvement guru Bob Vila, the candle is called out as one of the 10 gifts you should never give. Also on that list, underwear, pets, and gym memberships. Although I got a cat for Christmas once, and that was an awesome gift.
A what?
A cat.
Oh, okay.
And that's kind of you're crossing a line there when you pick out a pet for somebody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that ended up being Mooch the cat, and she's been awesome. Besides falling out of the window this morning.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't know what it was. She's in the window, and I think it's just she's mad because it's snowing. Because she's in the window, and she's growling and grunting and just being generally upset. And then all of a sudden, she must have tried to turn around, got tangled up in the curtain, and brought everything crashing down. So that's what cats do.
So did she land on her feet?
I couldn't tell because she was inside of a ball of curtain.
Oh.
And I just noticed she was, when I told you to hang on before we started the show, I just noticed she couldn't get out of she was so wrapped up in the curtain from falling. Lucky thing is I've got those like gym mat things that clip together on this room on the floor. So, probably kind of broke her fall. Because she's old. That'd be like one of me and you falling. A good chance we broke a hip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the hardest because we have all this ice out here. You wouldn't believe how icy it is.
I've heard. Everybody's been complaining about it because it melts during the day. The bottom layer gets, icy, and then you get a little more snow on top of it, and it's deceiving.
Yeah, exactly. Even though it's below freezing, when the sun comes out, it puts a sheen on that ice.
Yeah.
And so I can skate to the street, skate back in.
Nice.
Yeah. All I can think of is if I fall, two things might happen. One is I got to get up. And the other one is, I'm still working on a bum knee.
Cleats, Mike. Cleats. Yeah, or those
Loretta
rubber
wears
things that
cleats.
go over your shoes with the cleats on them.
Yeah. Loretta, she goes out for a walk every day with the dog. She's got cleats. In fact, you hear not this year, but last year, she lost a cleat. She spun out.
All right, before we hit odd news, I got a joke or a couple funny things. First one, Adam Sandler wins the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor. Really?
Really? Yeah.
Adam Sandler? Okay. All right. Other comedians have won this award include Richard Pryor, Whoopi Goldberg, Tina Fey, Jon Stewart. All right. Well, Sandler, he was funnier when he was younger, and he did join Saturday Night Live at the age of 23. And I think he's like 56 now. So he's done a lot. It's just his last stuff, I think, has waned a little bit. And along with that is the 10 worst movies of 2022 have been listed. Some people are already begging on Avatar that have gotten a sneak preview, but it is not on the list.
I was going to say.
On the list, though, at number 10, and it must have been an easy year because there really were no good movies this year. There really weren't. Number 10 is Amsterdam. Number 9 is Emancipation, which was just released, Will Smith's new movie, which was just released a couple weeks ago, so I'm surprised it's on the list.
I was going to say, that one just popped up, yeah.
The King's Daughter at number 8. Me Time at number 7. Pinocchio, that's Del Toro's new version of Pinocchio. At 6, 5 is the remake of Firestarter. Number 4, I got a problem with Jurassic World Dominion. I think any movie with dinosaurs is just fine. It shouldn't be on the 10 worst. Dinosaurs are awesome. Number 3, Home Team. Number 2, The Bubble. I've never even heard of either one of those.
Yeah.
And then number 1 was a release, and I'm so mad about this one, because I paid to see it on pay-per-view, and the next day it was on Netflix after I dropped the $6.99 to watch it. And top it all off, it was a bad movie. At number 1, the worst movie of 2022, Morbius.
I have not seen any of those.
Oh, Morbius was horrible, and I have only seen a couple of them, but those are the worst movies of 2022. And now, for December 14th, the worst odd news stories for Tuesday.
Slap some bacon on a biscuit and let's go. We're burning daylight.
It's the world of strange. A world gone wacky.
Out here, due process is a bullet.
And some of the scariest people on the planet.
I think you're bluffing.
Be afraid.
You look mighty pretty when you get mad.
It's your odd news on KCHW.
Just sit back and enjoy the show.
Oh, yeah, we always start off with that news attack where the first statement is true. The first sentence is true. Second sentence, always one of the worst jokes you could possibly hear. Mike kicks it off.
What an intro.
Yeah.
Okay, gas prices are falling. Are they falling in Maine?
Yes.
Ah, okay, they're falling here too. It's expected that many Americans will hit the highway this holiday season. Mostly it's people trying to get out of town before their relatives arrive.
Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, not to rub it in, but even since the rise of gas prices, we've been about $1 less than Washington State.
Yeah.
Thank you, taxes.
Yeah, but you rust faster.
That's true. All right. I'm rusting right now just sitting here. Study found that obese people who watch a lot of television are more likely to have high blood pressure, Mike. More high blood pressure than heavy people who don't spend as much time in front of the TV. So get out on that bum knee. Also, obese people who watch a lot of TV also stand a greater risk of attempting to eat the remote.
No, my couch eats the remote.
Okay.
I don't have to worry about it. Oh, your favorite guy.
Oh.
Twitter owner, Elon Musk, is trying to figure out how to make money. Apparently, crazy tweets don't convert to dollars.
Oh, don't get me started on space, Karen. So that is the new moniker for Elon Musk. A couple weeks ago, somebody was shining a light at night, projector on the Twitter building as after he bought it and putting up some not so nice things. One of them was Space Karen. It took a few weeks, but now everybody on the internet is doing hashtag Space Karen when they talk about Elon Musk. So please do that too. Hashtag Space Karen. Side note: he joined Dave Chappelle on stage during a live comedy show and was booed off the stage. So that's kind of embarrassing. And then you'll appreciate this one since you're a money guy. Today, Space Karen posted, at the risk of stating obvious, beware of debt in turbulent microeconomic conditions, especially when the Fed keeps raising rates, because the Fed's going to raise the rate a half a percentage point again today. What I thought was ironic about that, Tesla stocks are down, and Elon Musk actually borrowed the $44 billion to buy Twitter. He financed it. So he didn't follow his own advice. That's all I'm pointing out. All right.
Okay. All right.
Okay. And so you got me started. You got me started on Space Karen. All right. Study found that 20% of adults have at least one tattoo. Another 10% claim to have one, but if you look closely, it's just a bunch of birthmarks connected with crayon. That's what I do.
Okay, well, a survey asked who on our Christmas list is hardest to buy for, and the top response was
Dad.
I hear that all the time, by the way. Okay, all right. So, because it's tough choosing between boxer briefs, or a thong.
If you've ever seen an adult male over 30 in a thong, you just automatically know that's not the right purchase.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen that, fortunately, but I've seen one in a Speedo.
That's basically a thong for guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We had a guy where I used to live in Loon Lake, always showed up on the beach, and he had a big belly and a really small life jacket, and he was always wearing a Speedo.
Right.
All right, it sounds crazy. No, I missed one. Okay, it sounds crazy, but I decided to visit a fortune teller. Yeah.
Okay.
I realized she was an amateur when her big prediction was a warning that 2022 was going to end in a matter of weeks. It's a waste of money.
Okay, all right. Dog owners have been reminded not to brush their pets' teeth with human toothpaste. Plus, getting Fido to rinse and spit is nearly impossible.
Yeah. You don't swallow all that toothpaste. Why would you give it to your dog? I've seen people do that before. Yeah.
Really?
I
never even thought about that.
Yeah. Some Democrats and Republicans want to shut down TikTok in the U.S. This is a true thing. They're actually looking to vote on that. Somehow this will be blamed on Joe Biden, which is ironic because anytime someone says TikTok around him, he immediately falls asleep. That was a good one. Come on, laugh a little harder, Mike. That was good.
Okay, all right.
You want me to do it a second time, see if it's funnier? All right, but talking about free speech, and we're going to shut down TikTok because they think the Chinese might be watching us. Really, what are the Chinese gleaning from us by watching stupid videos?
Well, it's a conspiracy theory. They're getting an underlying theme of what Americans are like.
Dumb.
Gullible.
I could have told them that. All right, on to wacky but true. We don't add anything to these stories, but movie sound effects. There you go. Mike.
Hey, we got hamsters.
Yay.
You gotta get a hamster as a play toy for Mooch.
Oh, yeah, they'd last about 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, in Illinois, a woman was shocked after she started hearing weird noises coming from the wall of her apartment. And Kenna Buchanan was in for a shock when she discovered the source behind the strange sound. Posting it on social media, where else would you post it?
Mm-hmm.
Buchanan shared that a neighbor's hamster had eaten through the wall and ended up in her apartment. Buchanan said the hamster, named Linda, was successfully lured out with tortilla chips and returned to her owner.
Oh, I preferred it if it would have went down like this.
You better say your prayers, you flea-bitten varmint.
Romanian man found out that he had died more than 8 years ago. What a shock. 61-year-old retiree went to authorities to have an ID card reissued because the old one had expired, but the clerk said he couldn't issue a new card because the office had a death certificate showing that he himself had expired. Man came up with papers that will prove he's still alive. Hopefully he'll get to submit those before, well, it's too late.
Oh, my. Oh, wait a minute. He's not dead. He's alive. Like that.
He's dead. Mike.
Yeah, okay. We have a guy in Poland said he was helping his wife with housework while he was off work for a few days when, at one point, he opened a beer and started ironing. Sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Yes.
Okay. He then turned on the boxing channel. But when he became distracted from his chores, he mistook the hot iron for a telephone and burned the side of his head.
Oh, ow.
That hurts just thinking about it.
Oh, hello?
He's bled a lot.
We need a doctor. Look at his face.
And what does Christopher Walken have to say?
It's wrong tone. Do it again. I'll stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
Yeah, that'd feel better. Huh. All right, let's skip the next story. It is way too off color. I am going to share it with some of my friends, though. And, Mike, will you do another one about a husband's fishing addiction?
Fishing addiction. Okay, all right. Well, a woman in China recently divorced her husband of 10 years because of his addiction. According to the divorce case filed with the provincial court, the woman claimed that she had enough of her husband's fishing addiction. She claimed to take care of everything around the house, plus their 2 children, while he sat on the sofa looking at his smartphone and going out to fish with his friends after dinner every evening.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. After repeating, asked him to spend more time with her and the children, the wife decided the divorce was only viable option.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fishing.
Exactly. We don't need our wives. We'll have the marlin, and they talk less.
Marlins can't talk at all. Huh. Or I had this one all ready to go. I had a hard time finding fishing sound effects.
Vic, feel like a bit of fishing?
Holy barracuda!
And then she divorces you. All right, last 2. I stole them from somewhere else, Mike, so don't even try to follow along. Romanian police said they have 2 burglars that broke into a woman's apartment and left her some money. I wish somebody'd do that to me. Break into my apartment and leave me some money, please. 86-year-old told police 2 young men wearing masks trashed her apartment. She said they rummaged for money or valuables, but only found her wallet with the equivalent of just a few dollars inside. The burglars then felt so bad they gave the woman all of their loose change and left without taking anything. Oh,
that's nice.
Sorta.
You start believing in this peace on earth goodwill.
Say what?
Oh, I said it only cost $1,000 to fix the broken door.
Yeah.
You start believing in this peace on earth goodwill stuff. There's no telling how screwed up you're going to get.
All right, last one. At an airport in Germany. This is like most of my German family. At an airport in Germany, an elderly man was told he couldn't take 2 bottles of vodka on a plane with him. So what do you think he did?
He drank it.
He drank both bottles right there at the security checkpoint. Wow.
You drunk? No. But this ought to do it.
I wonder if he got disruptive on the plane.
No, he probably slept the entire time.
Yeah. All right, that is our show for today. Thank you so much, Mr. Mike Bentz, for being along for the ride. All right, and we're off till after the first of the year. So there you go.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's still got. I still have a couple shows this week. You've got 3 Amigos Thursday, and then Scott and Philip on Friday, and then your morning show will be on holiday break and be back in the new year, all revitalized, I hope. All right.
Right, exactly. It's our R&R time.
Special thanks for joining us today, Katy Scott from shejumps.org. Don't forget, they're showing those 2 films Saturday evening. Doors open at 5 o'clock. This is uplifting women and bringing young women into outdoor sports and a lot more. So check out their website, shejumps.org, and be at the Chihuahua Center for the Arts Saturday night at 5 o'clock. The doors open. Show starts at 5:30, or the event starts at 5:30. Anything on your end, Mike, as we close up shop here?
Just a couple of things. Just to remind people that the gathering for the Creative District has been canceled for tomorrow night and moved to January. And don't forget those rusty putter pies.
Ooh, there you go. All right.
Yeah.
And you, my friend, have a Merry Christmas.
Same to you. And
All
happy holidays back the other direction.
And for you, thanks for listening to Northern Lights Public Radio, and it's your KCHW 102.7 morning show. Have a great day and be safe out there.
Bye.
Bye.